I'm wiped out. So.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order and begin with the invocation and the pledge. Almighty God, send down upon those who hold office in this city the spirit of wisdom, compassion, and justice. Grant that with steadfast purpose we may faithfully serve our community, seeking the common good, protecting the vulnerable, and promoting the well-being and harmony of all who dwell here. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All members are present, with the exception of Councillor Malloy, who is excused. For announcements, Post Falls Parks and Recreation invites the community out for one last movie in the park this season. Ratatouille will be showing this Friday, July 24th at Hildy Kellogg Park. Activities begin at 7 p.m. and the movie starts at sunset. Join us for the ribbon-cutting celebration of the newly renovated Black Bay Park on Tuesday, July 28th at 5 p.m. Enjoy s'mores, explore the new improvements, and bring your hiking boots and swimsuits for an evening hike or swim. There is still time to participate in the city's comprehensive plan survey. The survey focuses on future land use and growth in Post Falls and will help guide the community's vision for the next 20 years. Residents can take the survey at postfalls2045.org/getinvolved through July 29th. Any amendments to the agenda tonight?
We have none tonight, sir.
Declarations of conflict, ex parte contacts, or site visits? Seeing none, please present the consent calendar.
Item A is minutes from the July 7th, 2026 City Council meeting. Item B is payables, July 8th through July 22nd, 2026. And item C is Holstein Avenue rights-of-way dedication to the City of Post Falls. Item D is North Place East 5th Edition Subdivision Construction Improvement Agreement. And item E is Ironvale Subdivision Final Plat.
Questions on the consent calendar?
I move to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Steigleder. Aye. Plew.
Aye.
Ziegler.
Aye.
Mosby.
Aye.
Lucca.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. We have no public hearings tonight, so we are on to unfinished business. Item A is Millworx Vacation Ordinance, which I believe just needs to be read. So we need a motion to...
I move to place the ordinance VAC 26-1, the Millworx Vacation Ordinance, on its first and only reading by title only while under suspension of the rules.
Second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Plew.
Aye.
Ziegler.
Aye.
Mosby.
Aye.
Lucca.
Aye.
Steigleder. Aye.
Motion passes.
An ordinance of the City of Post Falls, a municipal corporation of the state of Idaho, providing for the vacation of 3 rights-of-way located in the southeast quarter of the northeast quarter of Section 3, Township 50, North, Range 5 West, Boise Meridian, City of Post Falls, Kootenai County as described herein, providing for the disposition of rights-of-way, providing for repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and an effective date.
I move to approve the ordinance Millworx Vacation Ordinance VAC 26-1 and to direct the clerk to assign the appropriate number and that it be published by summary only.
Second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Plew.
Aye.
Ziegler.
Aye.
Mosby.
Aye.
Lucca.
Aye.
Steigleder. Aye.
Motion passes. Item B, fiscal year 2027 budget resolution.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. The budget resolution that I have before you is just to get the advertising started. So this is worst-case scenario. It shows with the worst-case scenario for property taxes and all the other expenses that we have. I already know that the budget will be less because we have been scrubbing it as we've been going along. This is not a binding resolution for anything going forward. It's just for my advertising for the budget. I don't know if anybody has any questions on what's in there, but that's all I have for it.
All right.
I move to approve preliminary budget resolution fiscal year 2027 and to direct the clerk to assign the appropriate number.
Second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion?
I just want to clarify what you're saying when you say worst case. Like, this is the ordinance or this is the resolution where we allow staff to put in the paper the highest amount that we could possibly take.
Correct.
For tax increases, but
Correct.
It does not bind us to take the highest amount.
No.
We just always have to say the highest amount. So when we say worst case scenario.
Right,
Anyway,
and they do
so,
check
yeah,
that too.
okay.
When I file my tax, the L1, the L2
Absolutely.
of the county, they check to make sure that my advertisement is higher than what we actually take.
Give people some options for other sound bites just than worst case scenario.
Worst case, yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay,
you're correct.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Roll call, please.
Ziegler.
Aye.
Mosby.
Aye.
Lucca.
Aye.
Steigleder.
Aye.
Plew.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item C, Poleline and Highway 41 Gravity Sewer Contract Amendment for Additional Services.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, Andrew Arbini in Public Works. I presented on this project a few months ago. It was a construction contract award with Gritty Lands Development. Since that time, we've been working through the pre-construction documents and getting things moving in that direction. Construction work is expected to start the first week in August. So I'll go through what this is about this evening. It's this request tonight is two parts. It's an additional services to increase contract with Ardura in the amount of about $16,000. It would also include a subsequent change order and a deduct to the contractor's contract cost for that same amount. The majority of the project work is focused at Highway 41 and Poleline Avenue. And a brief background on the work that we're performing. So this will replace an existing gravity sewer line to address surcharging issues we have in the sewer line. It's approximately 200 feet in length. As I mentioned, council approved the construction contract, the May 5th meeting, and a subsequent CMS amendment with Ardura, which is the city's consultant engineer for the project. Following the pre-construction meeting, the contractor made a request to adjust the standard work days in the contract. The contract was based on a standard daytime hours and working Monday through Friday. The contractor would like to work a nighttime schedule and weekends, at least for the first 2 weeks. Or I should say for the first 2 weeks of work, primarily to get out of the intersection of Highway 41 and onto Poleline. This allows the contractor to close an additional northbound lane, so that allows them to work more freely in the intersection and likely allows them to progress quicker and out of the intersection. During the daytime hours, 2 of the 4 lanes, northbound lanes, will be restored to traffic. And then we are coordinating this request with ITD, but they are palatable to the request. We've been talking with them currently. So as a result, this does impact the city's contract with Ardura as it adds additional costs to provide the supporting services needed at nighttime and during the weekends. The contractor has agreed to a deduct to offset that addition of cost. So this results in a 0 change in cost to the project, neither increase nor decrease. The time for night work and daytime, these services will be tracked separately. So staff would anticipate that we will reconcile what those actual costs are. It's possible that it could be less than this actual amount, but the contractor has agreed to this.
Andrew, is that offset? Is there also an offset in expenses on the contractor side as to why they're willing to do this, or are we just asking them to pay for a faster project?
So the contract design, we developed traffic control plans for each phase and really broke it out and how the work could be done during the day. It can be done during the day. This proposal to work at night is a benefit for everyone. It's largely a benefit for the contractor. The traffic is just less, the volumes are less at night. They're able to move around more freely. So there is a benefit to the city. There's a benefit to the citizens as well, as this likely condenses the work that they're doing and they can progress quicker. When the contractor made this request, we noted that the contract documents are only allow Monday through Friday, and upon request, any time additional would need to be reviewed.
And I'm great. I drive through there every day. I'm greatly in favor of doing it at night and doing it shorter. My question is more, is there some cost efficiency that the contractor is getting from this as well? For example, if the project is shorter, we don't need traffic control as long or something like that, that has allowed them to take this deduction, or are they just really taking it out of their bottom line? Or do we know?
I don't know the specifics of that. When we had the conversation about the additional cost, the contractor was pretty quick in accepting that offer and agreeing to that. In the conversations I've had, I believe it is a benefit overall to their crews to be able to do this. I don't know how that shakes out in their actual costs.
Okay.
But it was something that they gave some thought to in 24 hours and responded back and said, we believe this is a benefit for everyone, especially for our crews. And we'd prefer to move forward with this.
Okay, thank you.
I think it's probably safe to assume from a business standpoint they're not going to donate it. You know, it's going to be a benefit to them to do it at night, which is why they'd be willing to
Yeah,
deduct.
if you cut 2 weeks of traffic signaling or something, there's probably
Yeah,
a
there's probably a
financial
cost saving
benefit in
there.
addition to the other benefits.
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
yeah.
Well, I imagine they also care about their workers, and during August, that seems a little rough to be standing outside working on asphalt. So working in the evening is probably a mercy to the workers, so
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
it's a benefit to them to be able to work at night.
So next steps, starting work August 3rd. For those first 2 weeks, that would be the night work and working nights on the weekends as well, with the goal to get out of the intersection. We will be posting on the city's website and social media. Need to be working on that post here soon, so that'll be going out and giving notice. And then the project completion is slated for the end of September. So with that, I will stand for any questions.
Another question was similar to the one that I had in May. After they get this dug up, are we likely to know what caused this problem? And to know if there's something, like, was it a construction defect or something that just happened while it was underground?
So there will be opportunities when we have the backup. This project includes 3 different scopes of work. We have the majority of the project is focused on this gravity sewer line replacement at Poleline 41. We have work occurring at 12th Avenue on a section of force main, and then we have the manhole adjustments in 41. There may be additional information that comes about when we look at each of those locations. For Poleline and 41, this work, the line was installed in 2006. It is questionable if there is a responsible party. I guess I'm less optimistic that we would find something that would determine the cause. Is this common to see that after 20 plus years? No, it's not. But in discussions we've had with ITD and internally and reviewing what we know today, we may find something when we open up the trench and we start working. However, I think that chance is less. I guess adding on to some questions that you had asked at the previous council meeting. So following that meeting, did talk internally and we'll talk about the manhole rings, the adjustments that we're making in 41. So those were included in ITD's Highway 41 project. Those are sewer manholes belonging to the city of Post Falls. That was under warranty for 2 years. Fortunately, the issue was discovered at 2.5 years. It was discovered after the snow plowing season. I went back through it. I was also looking at kind of the history of that as well as the estimated cost. It's roughly $5,000 of the work. And then we have the third location at 12th Avenue that we've identified. There is a blockage. There's something occurring in the force main. I think that is call it a 50-50. I think if we find something very obvious, for instance, a utility that is going through the pipeline, that becomes very clear as to a possible responsible party. Mm-hmm. So I think we might learn more. We may also not.
Just the timing is odd, as I said in the last meeting about they had all this construction along 41, and now we have at least 2 of the 3 could have some sort of relationship to the work that ITD or its subcontractors did. And if there was a recovery, of course, we would want to at least consider that. But we may also just learn something about future projects that, hey, we need to be careful about this because this can clog this pipe or this can cause it to settle or whatever. So that's the other reason. And we just want to make sure that it doesn't happen in the future. And then as far as the manholes, yeah, they're out of warranty, but maybe we need to consider whoever did that work and whether or not they're somebody that needs to be on our list. You know, if it's to that degree, it's outside my expertise, but I just want to make sure that we don't end up in this situation again and continue to have these problems where, because, you know, when you look at what we're paying for construction management, it's a lot of money. And I just don't feel like we should, it's not that it would be perfect every time, but to have construction management issues, I think it calls into question if there is a competence issue or a tension issue or something like that that is causing these things, or if there's something with our soil that's settling that pipe prematurely or something like that. We'd want to know that.
Sure.
Thank you.
I would like to say that I appreciate that gritty land development, which, should we just call them everyone else is an acronym when you come up and talk to us. I feel like they should just be GLD, but I just really appreciate this is the first time we've used them, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Their ability to like look at the project and then not just think in terms of what contract they signed, but try to find efficiencies and find better ways to do it, not only like for the residents of Post Falls, but their project and the budget. So maybe, I don't know that anyone listens to these, but if you could pass that on, I'm appreciative of that.
I will, absolutely. And they have been great to work with to date, working through just all the submittals. There's, with the deep excavation that we have, there's specialty shoring systems and getting that information in. And they've been asking a lot of questions, which is great.
I don't know that you always feel that way about questions, Mr. Urbini, but no. I'm
I
just
do.
kidding.
We need a motion.
Yep. Entertain a motion.
Move to approve Poleline and State Highway 41 Gravity Sewer Contract Amendment for additional services as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mosby,
Aye.
Lucca,
Aye.
Steigleder,
Aye.
Plew,
Aye.
Ziegler.
Aye.
Motion passes. On to new business. Item A, utility write-off.
It's a fun one. All right. Well, good evening. Jason Faulkner, Finance Director. It's probably been about over 10 years since I've been in front of council asking for a utility write-off. We were usually pretty good about collecting, leaning, and doing other things to collect, and these are just 3 that are very odd. The first one, we had somebody that was deceased, didn't have a estate, and the house was sold at a tax deed sale. So we found out it had sold after the fact, and it was done. So there's none to go after on that part of it. So, and then the other 2 are 2 HOAs that there's no board and no money, and I've waited a while for them to reestablish, and it's not happened. So I just have 3 that are hanging out there, and I'll still try to collect if that's possible after the fact that the HOA reforms, but I highly doubt it. So there's a lot of HOAs that would like the city to take over irrigations, and so I don't know how many more of these we'll have, but this was one that's hung out for a while.
What will we do about this in the future if HOAs, do we just shut their water
They
off
shut her
then?
off, and
Yeah.
they don't.
Gotcha.
We just don't reestablish service when they like during the spring and summer if they haven't paid.
Gotcha.
And this has went on for years.
And by shut off, are we saying to all of the residents within the HOA?
I say that again.
Are we saying shut off the water to all
No,
of the
no,
residents?
no.
of the HOA?
No.
Common area.
Because even if they're not watering already, then shutting off the water to the common areas, I wonder how coercive a lever that even is.
Just prevents
That
us
was
from
not
racking
my
up behind the
suggestion.
bill.
Just to be clear.
Councilman Mosby has a siege mentality. Shut off the water for everyone.
Yeah, I don't think I could.
Might be.
Yeah, I don't think I could really do
No,
that
you just-
legally. It's not.
Yeah, no.
To be clear, that is not what I was saying. I was just getting clarification.
Yeah. Well, you play hardball, but no, I haven't done that.
Not what I was saying.
We play hardball, don't we, Shelley? But not that kind of hardball. Wow.
Post Falls.
Yeah, so like I said, usually With the first one, we usually have an escrow, usually goes through escrow, or I have an estate to attach it to. And but the good news is we had somebody that had a tax deed sale, and I was able to get a hold of the county and do a lien, and we were able to collect right away. So I got burned once, not twice. So then the other two are just irrigation accounts. So
Gotcha.
Is it possible to place liens on all of the HOA residents' addresses
I don't.
for a portion of,
I'd have to consult legal to do that. I'm not sure if that's possible, but
Maybe we let these two go, and then we come up with a game plan but like honestly for like future, because it seems like it's hanging in the wings. Yeah, like we're gonna be talking about this a lot more.
if they ever
soon.
do reestablish and they'll say, hey, we have this account, we want our water turned on, perfect, I have an outstanding balance for you. I would do that.
Even if we waive it right now. Oh,
I
gotcha.
could still collect later
Oh.
on. But like I said, this has been out there for a couple of years,
Yeah,
3-4 years, and it hasn't.
Yeah.
And they had a third party in Hayden that was paying the bills for them, and they said the board's defunct, they have no money. So I've tried, and we've went through the assessor records and everything, and it just keeps coming back. So
What
They,
is
they're no longer watering their common areas.
nope, there's no water going through the meters. Nope, so it's browned out.
and they have two accounts. Is
They have
that
two
just the way the
accounts.
land is like parsed
Yeah.
out? Yeah.
They
Gotcha.
have 2 different meters that are irrigating. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I believe they have 2 different common parcels, if I remember by it. So, and I would echo Councilor Steigleder's point that this is coming before the council more frequently. I mean, we've had a couple of these HOAs that have gone defunct or want us to take over or whatever, and it is a real question about what we can do, and I know not for your department, but it is something that I'd like to see us discuss more in the future is, does the city have an interest in these HOAs continuing? Clearly here we do, because this is a financial hit, and whereas if it's just, who's going to maintain the swale or something like that, there may be less of a financial interest if it's just beautification or something like that. But I'm very concerned about it. I mean, I pay my HOA dues reluctantly, but because we have no services at all, it's just water and electricity and mowing, and we pay a lot for it. And I'm concerned that other properties in the city that this is setting an example that there's no reason to continue your HOA, that you guys can all just decide to stop, and then now everything starts to go fallow and brown and weed filled and does start to create blight in the city.
I'd add that staff is working on the HOA issue. We've been, we are aware of it. We are looking for solutions. I've actually got our legal intern doing a little bit of a research project on this. So those items will be coming back to you separate from this discussion.
Perfect.
And as I recall, Field, last time this came in front of us when I forget which, I think it was Harmony Place, HOA was asking for us to take over. I think that was the HOA. Yeah. I recall the name correctly.
Good memory.
Thank you. The issue, or one of the solutions or the outcome we were considering is if the HOA were to turn over its common areas for maintenance by the city, then the responsibility would fall on each of the adjacent property owners. And so if they're not maintaining the common areas outside of their particular parcels, then they would be subject to some sort of code enforcement mechanism from the city. So as it stands today, as part of this research project, looking at that sort of enforcement mechanism against the individual property owners, not shutting off their water,
Not shutting up.
but some other mechanism within our code.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are exploring all sorts of different mechanisms, whether that's through development agreements or anything like that. So it is a larger undertaking and larger discussion that we'll have to have at a future date.
Thank you.
And I did speak to AIC's legislative folks when I was down in Boise last month about this problem too, so that's on their radar. And I proposed some sort of new legislative tool that would allow cities, like, as we had discussed, to take over the obligations in exchange for a tax just on those parcels. So it would effectively take what the HOA is doing and then put it as a tax, and then be able to do that from the city's perspective. And it would be more, I'm sure, more expensive than doing it privately, but if they're not able to, or not interested in maintaining an HOA, then that could be one avenue for them to hand it off, as long as it's not negatively impacting other taxpayers in the city. And so there's no legislative tool for that right now, but there could be. And so it's on the radar of some other folks in the state too. I'm hopeful that we'll get some sort of solution, because I think we will have ongoing issues with failing HOAs. It's not going to go away. The HOAs
Especially-
will.
Well, especially if they realize that they can. If they realize that dissolving the solution is acceptable, then more of them will do it.
Yeah, but then, I mean, your common areas look horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we're
think to a
we're
certain
relying on
degree. A lot of
the
motivation
property
to
owners
give
to
up on
want
that.
their neighborhood to look nice right now.
Yeah.
If they don't care about their own neighborhood, then that's what we get.
That's true.
And I
Anyway,
never thought that I would get on the city council and be the defender of HOAs. But,
You're having an existential moment right now.
yeah, strange bedfellows indeed. But I'm really looking forward to that legislation potentially coming up, and the reason is because the developments oftentimes contain an agreement with the city that this is what we're obligating ourselves to if you let us do this. It's an agreement with the people of Post Falls, and one party has broken that agreement, and there's no teeth to get them to do what they promised to do. And also there are a number, you look at Harmony Place, there were a number of people that wanted the HOA to keep their neighborhood up, and I've driven through that neighborhood and they could use an HOA with some teeth. And so it has a lot going for it, but it's not being enforced, and that's breaking trust with people that spent money for their house with the understanding that the neighborhood wouldn't have 4-foot-tall weeds growing in it and all of that sort of thing. And now those people that could make up 47% of the residents of that neighborhood who show up at HOA meetings, they don't have any recourse, and that's unfortunate. So I'd like to see that legislation. Thank you for bringing that up.
Thanks for teeing us up for that, Jason.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
So I just need a
Oh,
approval.
I move to approve utility write-off.
Thank you.
Second.
A motion and a second. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Lucca,
Aye.
Steigleder,
Aye.
Plew,
Aye.
Ziegler,
Aye.
Mosby.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is citizens' issues. This section of the agenda is reserved for citizens wishing to address the council regarding city-related issues that are not on the agenda. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Name for the record and 5 minutes on the clock.
5 minutes, all right. Well, Council, I have come to you many times. My name is Kim Brown, worked on historic preservation issues. I love that you're going through a comprehensive planning, and in the time period that I've been involved with historic issues, comprehensive planning is critical to historic preservation. And so I appreciate comprehensive planning, urban renewal projects, downtown planning, which Post Falls has gone through a series of planning tools. So as we're looking at our current situation here at the moment, were it not for comprehensive planning, we wouldn't the city might not have saved the Chapin building. And they may not have saved the water tower. Those of us that are interested in historic preservation, of course, we're tickled for anything that Post Falls can do to build its community, maintain its identity. And as we go through these periods of growth, people are attracted to Post Falls and they want to know, how did this little town get started? What makes it tick? And if we build over and knock down everything, then there isn't a way to establish that identity and that feel. And so people love that small town feel. And in the area here of the old downtown, because of its tentacles out to the park systems and the walkways, which for those of us that study history, they did extensive sidewalks, Spokane Street and the arterials 100 years ago. So these things come and go, but our buildings don't come and go, and our structures don't come and go. So because of comprehensive planning and because of those of us and the citizens coming forth with the planning tool, we wouldn't be in the Chapin building right now were it not for citizen comments. So whatever the city decides to do with its properties, I hope we can maintain the historic integrity of our properties for the future. So in the case of the Chapin building, the Historical Society had no way to share the small town feel. And I know that we invited all you folks over to visit that little museum, but the identity of the town is inside that little museum, and you would be shocked at what we have preserved. You can't get everything on AI about Post Falls. So, I mean, people think, oh, well, it's all there. No, it takes quite a bit to preserve history, and it's not all there. So the little area that we have here, I hope the citizens will, I need more than 5 minutes, and so does the community. A 5-minute presentation, we have no voice. So cities throughout Idaho have an Historic Preservation Commission, which I would encourage you to do so that I don't have to come and limit 5 minutes, nor do our folks, because we have historic preservation opportunities out in our farmland and all of these community parks. There are ways of connecting our new people to the story of the land. And if we can do that and integrate that, we have a way of preserving and sharing and maintaining more of the feel of the town. Otherwise, it just, it's lost. And again, anything that we can do to have a better means of communication for opportunity, historic preservation opportunity. And Post Falls does have its own history. It's got a really cool history, but we aren't getting through and communicating in the way that, and working together and building community. I'm not saying history is everything, but it does help with our identity. It helps with that small town feel. The cultural identity is important, and I will say that once we lost Frederick Post's main mill site, 33 acres, and when people saw their old downtown lost, there was this almost desperation. So the city fathers at that time, down at the time of Eric Keck and Clay Larkin, said, we'll keep that Chapin building and we'll save that water tower. And had they not done it at that time, we wouldn't have those things right now. And they're not much, but guess who they belong to? The citizens of Post Falls, and you as the leaders of the present time. You have the ability to communicate, and we need to have a way to communicate back to you and share this so that you feel and you understand our passion. And if you don't know the story, there's no way you can have the feel. And so that's a way of communicating and having a place at the table. And you can do that with a Citizens Advisory Committee.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
There will-
And I'm
we
sure
are
I'm
going to be
over
looking at
time,
options
but
for that,
I
yes.
really appreciate your time, and I appreciate your leadership. And I'm only trying to share some of this because some of us have been around a long time to see the changes. And were it not for, without that leadership at that time, the little Post Falls Historical Society wouldn't be sitting in that Chapin building right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing none. On to administrative staff reports, scheduling workshop discussion.
So Warren was going to take this, but he left early. So we're just trying to do a longer budget workshop. We need to do it before the 18th of August, which is when the public hearing is. So that kind of leaves us with the week of August 3rd through the 7th, or the week of August 10th through the 14th. We do already have the impact fee workshop on the 3rd and a regular council meeting on the 4th. So that would leave us either with Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of that week, or any day the next week. Since Joe isn't here, he said Wednesdays don't work well for him. So if we could avoid Wednesday, that would be good. But otherwise, it's up to you guys.
6th or 7th would work for me.
The 6th or 7th does not work for me.
Doesn't work for me either.
Oh, thank goodness.
I cannot do the 6th. I could do the 7th.
What about the next week, the 10th through the 14th?
The 11th, 12th, and 14th could work for me.
Could do those.
Yeah.
I can do the 11th and 12th, not the 14th.
I like the 11th.
I cannot do 12th or 14th, but 11 works.
Ooh.
So we're narrowing it
Ooh.
down.
I think we found a winner.
What about
Nathan,
Tuesday the 11th?
Luca? Does
11th
that?
is good.
Yeah.
We could do the 11th.
Okay,
There
the
we go.
11th at 5:30. Do we have a preference?
Yes.
Oh,
What preference is?
which one?
I were 5:30. Yeah.
All right.
I'd say 5.
Okay.
5, okay. 5 to 7, I will send out an email and an Outlook invitation.
All right.
Did we not respond to our emails? Why did we have to do this on YouTube?
Yes, that's exactly the problem.
Is that really? I respond.
You're very good.
I do, thank
Samantha.
you so much.
Okay, we have that done. There's nothing else we need to schedule, right? It was just that one?
Correct.
All right. Mayor and council comments. Anything from the council today?
I have two things. First, I really appreciate the engagement from the Historical Society here in Post Falls, and though it may not seem to be so, a lot of what we kind of deliberate on is behind closed doors, a lot of ideas that get bounced between us and trying to kind of come up with a plan. I would like to state very clearly two things. One, we've never advocated for tearing down and get rid of the Chapin building. It's never been on the table of any of us sitting here today. And then secondly, there's never been a discussion or idea of tearing down the water tower either. I don't know where these ideas come from and how they get out into the public. That's never been anything that we've thought of or advocated for. We value those historical landmarks as much or more than anybody who lives here. So it is our greatest effort to preserve those. I think I can speak for everybody here. And we are diligently working to come up with solutions to make those, not only preserve them, but make them really kind of a center point of the downtown area. So that's the first thing. Second thing, I did receive a citizen complaint, and it's interesting that we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, and Marc's comment I think was very appropriate on with the chip sealing projects that we have going now on Idaho Street and Spokane Street.
Saltese.
Or, I'm sorry, and Saltese, yes, yeah. It does bring into question, and for me personally, especially along Spokane Street, the level of the manhole covers on the westernmost lane heading south seem to be like, you kind of have to, like an IndyCar driver, you know, you're kind of dodging those a little bit. So my question would be more like, what is the tolerance? Like, what is our expectation of the maintenance of those manhole covers? Because the person who mentioned this to me said that she feels like it's like dodging big potholes in the road. And so if we could get kind of some feedback on like, when do we reach the point of needing to raise those? What's an acceptable level? Or is it like a organic speed deterrent to have a giant hole in the ground? Or, you know, where are we at on
Signs
that?
slow for the potholes.
Yeah.
Manholes, sorry, those two.
Go ahead, if you have thoughts, go ahead.
We're supposed to fill the potholes, not create them.
Not create them.
I don't know that we specifically have John Beecham, Public Works Director. We don't necessarily have a tolerance where if it's a half-inch low, we'll fix it. If it's 3/8, we won't fix it. What I would say is I'd encourage anyone and everyone, if you have an issue like that, please let us know. A good email address is streetinfo@postfalls.gov. That goes to our streets crew. They can look at the issue, but it gets forwarded along to our wastewater crew as well. We do periodically fix manholes that are sunk or raised. The raised ones are a big issue for snow plowing, so that's also of concern to us. But we also don't have a program where we go out and look at each one to see if it meets specs, so we do rely on people letting us know where the problems are and the pain points are. So maybe I'll chat with you after the meeting and find out which specific ones you're talking about and exactly where, and we can get somebody to look at it. But I would encourage people, let us know if there are issues like that, and we can definitely look at it, and we'll get back to you with what we found and what we will or will not be able to do for it. So,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.